That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
What's going on, one gas?
What is going on, folks? Can everyone hear us through our little? We got a different setup tonight. We're at the, as Trey said, the Pete Shack.
Yeah, let's know if you can hear us. What's going on, David? Can you hear us all right, Dave? Anyway.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Test.
Might have to listen on the phone.
And now we froze up.
Yeah, it'll be all right. We're doing things a little bit different. Hopefully you guys can hear us. Welcome to Fishing Friday Live from the Pete Shack. I need a sign now.
Yeah.
We're just chilling. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to get on. As always, make sure you head over to onecastfishing.com. Use the code THE1CAST. All one word to check out. Get some snagless jigs, long neck hooks, weedless neds, and soft classics, especially the Nighthawk,
Especially that Nighthawk.
if you're into flipping.
Everybody should be into flipping. Also, when you guys are online, head on over to CarolinaWatersNC.com. Stay protected with their UPF 50 gear, their neck buffs, all their gloves, all the lines of apparel that they have. I'm going to show this new one here in just a second. But use the code THE1CAST to save 20% at checkout. And let me show this off while Pete holds this mic. So they got the new Buck Stopper camouflage UPF shirt. Bow season's right around the corner. We all know down in the Carolinas it's extremely hot still. Bow season opens up in September. So get the Buck Stopper shirt. Use the code THE1CAST. You guys are going to save some money, stay protected from the sun and from those dang mosquitoes.
That's right. And then head over to Hobie Eyewear. Use the link in the description. I tried to post in the chat, but it looks like I only went into one chat for some reason, which is kind of weird. But and I don't know. Hopefully messages are coming up. A little bit different setup, like you said. We wanted to have the guys over for dinner tonight in the new house. I was hanging tackle on the wall, so we decided to do it from the garage. So let us know if you can hear us. I see they've got quite a few people on. And like I said, head to HobieEyewear.com, but use our link. It's all over the place in the description of the podcast. Our link tree, wherever you're watching, you can click on our profile, and I have the link tree in there. Click on that Hobie Eyewear link, you'll save 15%, but it'll get overridden right now. If you use our link, you'll save 20% because they're running a summer for sale for Labor Day and a summer sale. So make sure you head over there, check them out. And it's not officially official yet, but I think we're ready.
It's official.
It's pretty official.
I mean, it's pretty official. Go ahead, Ben.
We recorded the episode. So, yeah, we've got a new partnership that we have been teasing here for probably the last month or so, maybe 6 weeks, maybe around ICAST. And we actually filmed on Wednesday the episode that will drop on Thursday with the folks of our new partnership. So we're proud to be working with the folks over at Deep Dive, the Deep Dive app. And if you're unfamiliar with it, I mean, all you got to do, go to your app store. Doesn't matter if you have an iPhone, Droid, whatever. I guess that's what Trey has.
I'm a low life. I got a Droid.
Yeah, that's why we see the green messages on the green bubbles for him. But you just search for Deep Dive. You can download the app, and it's an excellent application that's going to help you put more fish in the boat. So some of the features they have, and definitely recommend checking out the episode because they talk about something. Some of the behind the scenes stuff that they pull in. But like our local lake here at Jordan Lake, they have water clarity features that they're pulling from satellite photos. They're pulling in the current flow. They're pulling in the current weather data, the effects that wind actually has on the water. And then I think most importantly, it's got various features in there that helps identify the best or the most likely places that you'll catch fish. So some places to check out, some areas on the lake, as well as the type of structure and baits you can use. And all that is based on old tournament data that they have sat down and watched hours upon hours and had professional anglers watch these old events of coverage, and they've been able to collect all this data and feed it into their database to create an algorithm that helps us catch more fish in the water. So a lot of features in there, and we're proud to be working with them. I have used them since they've come about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I downloaded it right away. I attribute to one of my tournament wins because of it, because I found a pattern. I know Pete and Trey have used it this year too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't tell a story then.
Yeah. So when the episode drops next Thursday, go ahead and listen to that. We had Braden on from Deep Dive, and we really broke down some of our anecdotes of where we found success with it. But I will say this: I went out today and used the Deep Dive app on one of the local lakes here. And, the bite was really, really tough. But one of the features that Ben talked about was best areas. And all 5 of my fish came from where the best area is at. Now, again, this is giving you recommendations. It's not 100% science, right? So just understand that when you use the application. But it gives you a great starting point. It helps out. Just like we talked about before, if somebody's hitting you up asking questions about the best spots on the lake, they might be able to provide that. But this is going to give you a little bit more information. And by the time somebody tells you something about a lake, usually it's outdated, because we're seeing that right now with the MPFL tournament up there in Saginaw Bay. We got a lot of good buddies up in Saginaw Bay, and guys like Patrick Walters aren't even bringing 5 to the scales, right? And that's crazy about Patrick. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, good.
But, just like with the Deep Dive app, it's going to give you a starting point, but it doesn't mean that those fish haven't moved, right? So if Peter, Ben, or myself gives you information, it could be dated, fish move, all sorts of stuff, but definitely highly recommend checking them out.
Yeah, sorry, there was, for some reason, the chat wasn't refreshing, so I redid it, and now I can see everybody in there. Patrick, Jeff, David Fuchs, everybody can hear us. Tony Ackridge, just want to shout out Black's Tire. Tony up there is the manager. Trey has been using them for the better part of a decade. If you saw his story the other day on our thing, they always take really good care of him. He's got me going up there. I've got my last set of tires on the truck, all new tires on the boat last year from them. And now that my service contract is up on my Tundra with my dealer, I will be in there for my oil changes and any other maintenance that I need. So if you're in North Carolina or South Carolina, there's probably a Black's Tire fairly close to you. Make sure you check them out. Specifically, if you're in the Sanford area, you want to go to the one on Main Street in Sanford. And I just know how to get there. I don't know street names, so that's why I had to look at Trey, because I knew he would know. But go see Tony. Jessica's up there. Check them out for any of your maintenance needs, tires, all of that good stuff. They're going to take great care of you. Make sure you let them know that we sent you or you heard about them from us. I apologize if you see a light randomly come on and off. If you have a garage door, you know that you have the garage door light, and it was burned out, and I decided I need to put a new light bulb in it, forgetting that it would turn off and on when you have the door open and you're moving around. So now every time somebody moves the wrong way, the light clicks on, so it makes it a little bit weird. But appreciate you, Tony, for jumping on. We appreciate everything you've done for us. And when Ben's service contract runs out with his new truck, he's going to be coming up to see you as well. So you'll get the full one cast crew up there. He stepped over that. Oh, the chair got him. It'll only sit off for a second. It'll shut off. But appreciate that. Everybody else that commented, I'm probably going to have to randomly reset the thing, because I didn't set it up as a moderator, I think. So that's why it's not refreshing in real time. But appreciate everybody jumping on. Check out Deep Dive. If you're hesitant, listen to the episode. And if you're still hesitant, when you see one of us, ask us and we'll show you. I'll tell you.
They get a free trial too. So
yeah, there's a 7-day free trial, and not every lake is going to have all of the details, but most of your major lakes in your area will have all of that. Some of them will miss certain features. Some of them will have a hodgepodge, but it's worth the price. All right, it looks like it's updating. Trey just commented, it popped up, so you all should be good. If I misacknowledged you, I apologize. Make sure you shout out chat. I know I saw Zach Scott up there and a few other folks, but yeah. So make sure you check out the Deep Dive app. I think he broke down the price. It was what, $80 for the year, or so. Yeah, $80, and the win feature alone, in my opinion, is worth $80 a year. And this isn't just a tournament angler thing. So make sure you check that episode. Noon. I don't know why I said 11:30. Noon on Thursday. That one will drop. You can go get all the info from that and dive into the Deep Dive app. We take a deep dive into Deep Dive.
That's right.
Also, we'll talk about upcoming events. Next Saturday, September 7th, we will be at the Tap Yard in Raleigh for the Warrior Fest. I'll be up there probably all day. I don't know. Trey and Ben will probably get up there a little bit later. We are going to be live from Warrior Fest from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So you can either tune in live or you can come hang out while we're doing it. It sounds like the Fuchs are coming down, which is going to be awesome. We're looking forward to seeing them again. They're going to have to buy a second residency in North Carolina as much as they're coming down and visiting.
At this point, absolutely.
Yeah, they're basically residents now as much as they've been coming down and fishing and hanging out with us.
Can you blame them?
You might as well have them go get plates on their vehicle. Just know it's going to take 6 months.
No, the plates are the easy part. It's getting them. I'll tell you what. Sidebar, like the DMV in North Carolina is the worst thing I've ever. Like you hear DMV stories from every state. I have never experienced anything like the DMV in North Carolina. So I wasted at least 12 hours of my life attempting to get a driver's license as a walk-in. And then I just got super lucky, and there was a canceled appointment by the DMV near work for today at 8 a.m. And I checked, and I got it. I walked in at 8 a.m. when they opened the doors. I was out by 8:15 with my new driver's license. I'm like, why not just have certain centers that all they do is driver's license?
Well, they do, because the license and title is a separate office.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I walked right in. It was like 12 minutes. A lady took my $600 to transfer a vehicle to the state of North Carolina because of all the taxes you have to pay. That's one thing I'm not used to is you pay property tax on your vehicle every year to the county, right? Yeah, county.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to that. In Pennsylvania, we pay county sales tax and state sales tax. It's a one-time deal. Here, you pay it every year when you register. So I had to do that. And then if you move to North Carolina, they hit you with a highway use tax for the first time that you register. And that's 3% of your vehicle's value, not to exceed $250. So, of course, if you have a newer vehicle, you're paying $250. So it was like $600 some to get a plate today. But it's all done now. I'm officially official here in North Carolina. Now we just got to try to get Chelsea done. So
Yeah.
we might go to the Fayetteville one that's open on Saturdays tomorrow morning and see, like, roll in there about 6:30 and see what it looks like.
Pete's gonna have to he's gonna have to go to the DMV like we did back in the what was it, the late 90s, early 2000s, where people are camping out for Beanie Babies.
It's
And
like
put on,
that.
Target or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, put your camp chairs out there and just wait in line, man. Because in Fayetteville, if you guys don't know, like, it's a big military town. Fort Liberty used to be Fort Bragg is here, and second largest military installation, first largest by population, and so yeah, she gonna be busy.
It's funny because as I was standing there for my appointment this morning waiting, because the line started to form for walk-ins. Now, they don't take walk-ins till noon. People started lining up at 7 a.m. this morning. They were already lined up when I got there. I was an hour early for my appointment, and there were people lined up. And yeah, as I was standing there waiting for the appointment, I was reading, and some older lady fell out at one of the DMVs yesterday. I saw the news story. So one of the workers came out like 5 minutes beforehand and gave a big speech about how it's going to be hot. If you don't think you can stand here, go into your car. We don't want anybody falling out in line. Like, it was a little ridiculous.
Set up IV stations.
I will tell you that if you're coming to North Carolina and you are moving here, it's going to take you some time to get a driver's license. But
Yeah.
now I'm a resident. I can get my lifetime hunting and fishing license, which is what I really wanted. And then I don't have to worry about doing that every year. But now let's talk about some fishing. Ben, you're planning to finally get out a little bit. It's been a while for you.
Yeah, it's been a while. I decided to take this week and probably beginning of next week when it's so hot and just cast a bunch of jigs up, running low on some stuff. That's a good problem to have. And I was like, well, it's going to be about mid-70s at the end of next week for who knows how long.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a better time to go fish. So I'll slave away in the heat in the shop here for a few more days until it cools and I'm getting out in the water.
Yeah. There's definitely some changes going on right now. We can talk about it quickly. The fall turnover. You hear a lot of people talk about how tough the fall can be, the late summer, the early fall, when that water starts to really flip upside down. And this morning I was out. I didn't feel well today. I think I had some heat exhaustion going on and some other things. I got off the water about 10 o'clock. But one of the things that happened this morning is I ran all the way to the northern end of the lake, and just like a lot of your lakes, you'll hear people talk about they're the first areas in the lake to spawn first. Well, they're also the first part of your lakes that usually start to turn first. And one of the things you'll notice, water clarity is not good.
And it's got a weird color to it.
It's got a weird color to it. If you're on a clear body of water like Lake Norman or something like that, it definitely looks really weird.
It gets that milky.
Yep. And then there's a smell associated with it. And I don't know if all lakes smell, but this morning there was definitely a very strong sulfur odor that was coming from both the left and right northern ends of the lake, because Mikey was out there, who you guys have heard us talk about him before. Him and Nick Kincaid are our travel partners for the Fishers of Men. And he said the exact same thing to me. You know, we went shallow, tried to keep that shallow bite honest, totally went against what Deep Dive was telling me to do. We canceled that plan about an hour and a half into the day, and then we ended up going deep. Now, the mid section's your lake, usually your clearer sections, right, your lower section. And that's where all the fish were caught. They were still schooled up in their summer schooling patterns, but they were definitely not biting like they traditionally do. And that's not saying you can't get them shallow, but if you smell that stinky egg smell, that sulfur smell, I don't know if you can get bit in it. I just know that I turned around and went the other way.
Yeah, I run away from it.
Yeah, first of all, it just smells, right? Like rotten eggs. So that's kind of what's going on here on Karen Harris. I'm not sure about the other lakes because I haven't been out on them. But Ben, if you're looking to get out, you're on a clear reservoir, which is really nice because you got a lot of veg. I'm curious to hear what's going to happen on your lake here soon.
I just want to add, I think that sulfur smell, if you have a lake that has a lot of vegetation, I don't think it gets it as bad. I think that the lakes that don't have it, it's that muddy bottom that you tend to get.
What it actually is.
Ben, see, that's why you asked those questions.
Yeah.
So what you're smelling, a lot of it's the gases, the decomposed gases, because when the thermocline set up, that water is stratified, and there's no that water doesn't mix because the densities are different. So all that stuff, vegetation, bait, people taking dumps in the water, all that stuff falls to the bottom, right? And it starts decomposing. Well, when the water's not mixing, like, it doesn't get to the surface. So when the lake turns over, because the water temperature is the same in density, all that water mixes, and now those gases can get up and escape better.
Yeah.
So you're smelling a lot of that decomposition and all that stuff over the last several.
I just want to say what's up, Patrick. Patrick says top water bite has been good. Cranking off points for the spotted bass. September is going to be awesome.
Yep.
Frank Duffy, what's going on, man? Glad to have you. Patrick said their bite's been mid lake as well. Yeah, it's getting to that kind of mid lake bite. David said that means the volcano's getting ready to erupt. Bassing through said, "Geez, it's hard to take a bite and lift your rod and you think it's snagged." Yeah. How was Kerr fishing in September? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. So Kerr, Carr, or Bugs Island. You know, the lower end of the lake down in, Big Nut Bush is usually the clearest part on that lake, and that's where a lot of the spotted bass population are at. It's a pretty good spot, like right now and in September, to go out there with a lipless crankbait or a topwater spook, a jerk bait. Yes, you can go out there with a jig head minnow, whatever. But those fish school up and they start pushing those shad to the back of the pockets. There are blueback herring in that lake. It's just not a huge population. What's up, Mom? My mom's on. But that lake can be really good. In fact, all these lakes around here can be really good in the month of September. It's a great time to fish, especially when that water's done discharging all the gases that Ben was talking about. In fact, this morning I found a washing machine. I don't know what it was. It was in the water. And I actually need to call the state about it because I have no idea what it is. I didn't get too close to it.
Underwater, or it was just partially in the water?
It's partially in the water. It's definitely a wash machine or a dishwasher. I don't know what it was, but I looked at it and I was like, is that where the smell is coming from? I'm thinking, like, it's definitely not a dead body smell because I know what that smells like, but, like, it wasn't that. I was like, is that what the smell was? And then Mikey called me and said he smelled the same thing. But going back to Kerr, yeah, Kerr can be very good this time of year. Lake Norman is also great this time of year, or in September. So, yeah, go out to Bugs Island. If the water's high, go flip bushes. If the water is not high, go to those rocky points, throw a spook around, throw whatever you want to throw around. And then if you get in a pinch, grab a one cast fishing weedless net head and put a turd on it and throw that around, because that's about the only thing that was getting bit the other day on Karen Harris was a turd.
I'm just ready to go to Jordan in about a month and a half with 3 cranking rods on the deck with square bills on them, and that's all you need for the entire day. That's like my favorite. So
And Alabama rigs really starts to play this time of year too. I saw
it's getting close. Yeah,
I saw a guy catch about 30 of them
spinner
today.
rig. Oh yeah, on a day rig.
Yeah, he was in a kayak. He was fishing the railroad on Karen, and he was sitting on it the whole day. And I watched him absolutely jack 2-pounders, cookie cutter bass. But yeah, they're eating a rig.
Hopefully the smell wasn't coming from the nuke plant.
No,
No, it wasn't. Patrick said, is that Alatoona, north of Atlanta? I've always wanted to fish that. I've heard it can be a fun lake to fish. I've never.
I heard it was a Dead Sea.
Did you?
No, I just don't think there's a lot of big ones in it. I don't know. Tell us, Patrick, what's it like?
Well, that was a few years ago. I heard that.
Who's the stud muffin, Nick?
What's the? He knows it was me for sure.
It's you.
100%. Yeah. I don't even know why you asked. But yeah, that the fall bite's gonna heat up here. That, I mean, for the next till really November, you can get a pretty good top water, even through November.
Mm-hmm.
Especially here in North Carolina. It seems like that topwater bite dies off. He said, no, man, not the Dead Sea. So whoever told you that just didn't want you to come fish their honey hole.
It's got a funny name,
Altoona, yeah.
Altoona.
But yeah, the
I mean, it would have been years ago. I think
Yeah.
Fluke said it like years ago.
the topwater bite here, we've got till about, and after Thanksgiving, that is when we really will usually see water temperatures fall to where that topwater bite kind of dies. My favorite time is November on the lakes, like you were talking about, like Norman with the spotted bass. Like when if you're not coming to fish in the SOVA tournament or you're local and not fishing the SOVA tournament, that is a ton of fun. I caught every fish last year that we weighed in, and I mean we were like middle of the pack out of 100 boats or so.
David.
The bummer 4/5. Come on, David. But I caught every fish we weighed in. I think Chelsea and I ended up weighing like 10 pounds and some change. Every single one of them came on top water. I did throw a jig head minnow a little bit and caught some fish, but no keepers. My big fish all came on top water. Threw it all day, and it was a blast.
The only thing I'm feeling there is the Willow Vibe. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, go check out Deep Creek Lures. They're a local. Yeah, the Willow Vibe. They're running a really, really good Labor Day sale as well. Nick's on their staff. Jesse Wise, who's one of their pros, has been on our show. I really would like to get their owner on our show because he has one heck of a story. So, but definitely go check them out. Deep Creek Lures, local company. They make really good soft plastics. I don't have them hung up on the wall yet. They're still in my giant bin of needs to get hung. This is just the soft plastic side. I'm not bragging, but I have entirely too much tackle. There's going to be a sale.
Way too much.
Way too much tackle. We're going to have a fishing yard sale here in the next month or so. Trey's got a bunch of stuff. Seth Ellis is getting involved.
Yeah.
I've got stuff. If Ben's got anything he needs to offload, we'll get him.
Don't worry, Christine. We still know that we have a prize
Yeah,
pack.
Christine, when you come down, we're going to let you pick some stuff. So we haven't forgot about you, but got to offload some stuff. You can never have too much tackle.
Actually,
I used to think that, Nick, until I started to try to go through it.
Yeah, but Nick fished. Nick used to fish the Toyota Series as a co-angler, and I will tell you, this year I saw the biggest rolling tote of tackle, more soft plastics than you can shake a stick at, and that's what Nick traveled around with in the Toyota Series, and it was truly probably 200 plus pounds, probably more, that tote weight. So you're definitely spot on, Nick. You can never have too much tackle until you just can't get yourself in your garage anymore, and that becomes a problem. Hey guys, if you're in the market too, I'm going to give Nick a free plug here. Kincaid Construction, serving our local area. He's getting ready to redo my entire back screened in porch,
Just did
my
my
back deck, and Pete's roof. So if you guys are looking for some upgrades, or you have some storm damage or something like that, hit up Nick Kincaid with Kincaid Construction. He'll get you guys squared away. All right, what else is on the fish brain tonight?
NPFL's going down.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit odd. it's tougher than that the Saginaw Bay usually is. I think some of it was the weather. They had that big storm come through.
And they're going.
Patrick Walters, who I picked to win, has weighed a limit of fish combined in 2 days.
I think I picked Patrick too. They
No.
were limited to
No, I forget who you ended up going with.
What?
Yeah.
You went with Kyle Welcher, struggling a little bit as well. Trent Palmer had an absolute sack yesterday. I think he weighed 3 fish in today.
And he's still sitting in 6th, I think.
Yeah. Zach Burge is sitting in second. Kevin, is it Kevin? Yeah, Kevin Martin's in first. Gary Atkins is up there in third. Jason Williamson in fourth. Brock Bila fifth. Josh Hooks, local guy, sitting in 7th right now. Trent Palmer's in 6th. Matt Looney. Jesse Wise, who's been on the show, is sitting in 9th. And the man, the myth and the legend, John Cox, 10th place at a smallmouth tournament. And you know he's not out there smallmouth fishing.
Yeah.
Can you pull up when they went last year? This is quite a bit later.
I don't remember. I thought it was
they went in
pretty
July and
close.
stuff. And this is
It could have been.
it's almost later.
Seth had a limit today for what 12 pounds, 13 and some
10,
change.
13, 10 today.
Jesse had a good day. Again, he's sitting in 10th or 9th right now.
9th.
9th.
Yeah.
So
John Coxon 10th.
Jeff said that board behind you is looking a little thin. Trust me, Jeff. That there's plenty more that still need to go up. I could hold the bin up if it didn't weigh 340 pounds.
Yeah, last year they went July 20th through the 22nd.
Yes, they're a month later.
Yeah, they're a month later, but the weights are looking pretty similar.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean 62, 12, 1 last year. Trent Palmer 18-8 day 1, 21 and 22. So, I mean,
And to be honest, I really don't have a reference of how quick things change up there. And I know it's way further north. It's like halfway up Michigan.
Once they get in the summer pattern on the lakes, like the Great Lakes, they nothing really messes them up unless you get a hard blow, and that's what they had here the last couple of days. They had a really hard north blow, and that'll really screw the fish up. Anything the summer pattern north or east on the Great Lakes really screws the fish up. Like when I was in Pennsylvania, if I took 3 days vacation to go to Erie and it was blowing out of the north or east, I didn't even go. It was a complete waste of your time to go if you were just going to fun fish. So Pete's got enough missile baits to fill that up. Yeah, wall. Yeah,
Yes, he
most
does.
of them are in the boat. So I think my plan tomorrow is to tackle what's in the boat because I have too much tackle in my boat because I carry everything because I didn't have a lot of storage in my previous situation. And then I'll go through what's out here that I'm actually going to use. Because Trey and I tried to divvy it up, like keep and sell, and the keep box was way more than probably actually needed to keep.
you didn't
And
even get an 8th.
I think there's like
That's what happened.
there's like 4 packages of soft plastic that went into to get rid of. So we're gonna go through it. I got to get a restock from Ben and One Cast Fishing on some soft plastics, and then the hard baits will come next. Yeah, it's coming. I'm just happy to have somewhere to put it all finally. I've been accumulating it for all these years down here, but yeah. So NPFL, we don't know. Tomorrow's showdown Saturday, so we'll see who comes out on top. Trent's probably out of it, I would think, unless something crazy happens tomorrow. I think today probably hurt him. So we may see somebody who hasn't won in the league before. You've got Zach Burge is up there. He's had 2 very steady, solid days. Kevin Martin had 2 very steady, solid days. Another guy who hasn't won before. So that would be cool to see a new champion raise that shield. I still think it's the best shield in fishing.
For sure.
Best trophy, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the cool one.
That thing weighs a lot.
Corbishley had his in the studio. Yeah, picking it up. It was like
You couldn't even see him behind it.
No.
Like he had to squeeze in.
Yeah.
Well, you had to put it back on the
on the
on
refrigerator.
the fridge, yeah.
Yeah. Here,
Hold on one second. I have a place and order with Ben. Also, that was David Hughes.
make sure you use the code the one
Code
cast.
Well, no, David should have his ambassador code.
Oh yeah, you got
Oh,
the
yeah,
master code. Yeah, so use that code. Jeff Horner. Oh, did you have something you wanted to?
Well, here I'll just say one last thing on the MPFL. So what really does surprise me, but it means that they're really on the smallmouth. Yesterday was bright bluebird skies, pretty slick. The conditions that smallmouth like a lot. So if you're a smallmouth angler, you know that they love that stuff. However, what you also know about smallmouth is they move a lot, right? They can move a lot. And so today it was way windier, pretty choppy conditions out on the main lake. And I'm very surprised. That just means that Kevin Martin and Zach Burge are on the brown fish, right? Because there was definitely good bags of green fish weighed in today too. So if I was gonna get after it on day 3 with the weather that they're predicting, I would 100% go chase smallmouth because
Tomorrow's gonna be the best smallmouth day they've had.
yeah, should be the best smallmouth day. Today was like really good largemouth conditions. That's why you see John Cox, man, he's consistent 17-pound bags of greenfish. So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. I think if Kevin Martin is on the same quality of smallmouth that he was on today, he may win this thing, right? But
I think it's down to him and Zach right now, just with consistency, unless something changes. Because, like I said, tomorrow I believe is the best smallmouth day. It's blown the last 2 days. Yesterday had a little more sunshine than today, but overall it hasn't been great. Tomorrow it's going to lay down a little bit and get sunny. Jeff asked, "What's your favorite fishing lines and why?" So I pretty much exclusively use fluorocarbon unless I'm frogging or punching. And I started a little bit more topwater with braid. I'm still not a huge fan of braid for topwater just because I straighten hooks out because I don't like to play fish. I like to get them in the boat as quick as possible, and braid's a little bit too much for me, but I have started to throw it a little bit more on my topwater. But my workhorse is 16-pound Gamma fluorocarbon. I flip with it. I throw most of my soft plastics on 16-pound. Moving baits anywhere from 10 to 12, except for chatterbaits. I throw that on a 14 because usually I'm throwing that up around cover, trying to rip it out of grass and stuff. And then frogging 65-pound braid because I broke 50 on a hook set, so I won't use 50 anymore. And yeah, that's me. I don't throw mono for anything. I'll throw and I learned that from Swindle. Like a lot of people switch to mono or something when they're throwing a buzz bait, for instance. If you're throwing a moving bait like a buzz bait, it doesn't matter. The fluorocarbon doesn't create enough drag to where it becomes an issue. So for me, that's my setup. And I know Trey, I'll let him talk, but he's a co-poly guy.
yeah, because it's cheap. So I order anywhere from 8-pound to 20-pound P-line co-poly. It's cheap. I use 12-pound for most of my crankbaits, unless it's really, really small crankbaits, then I'll drop down to like 10 and 8. I use that for deep cranking, and then I use 20-pound, like flipping a one-cast fishing Nighthawk with a half-ounce weight on it. I'll use 20-pound. I'll flip the buck brush at Bugs Island, or I'll flip, when the water's high at Falls Lake. I went out there a couple weeks ago and, cracked them in the jaws with that Nighthawk, which was awesome. So co-poly is definitely my go-to. I do use true monofilament, fluorocarbon leaders through Cortland Fishing out of Portland, New York. And I use their drop shot leader material. And then all of my braided line is Cortland line. So anywhere from 20-pound braid that's on all my spinning rods, which is yellow so I can visually see it. And then I use 30-pound braid for my topwater spooks, pop-ars, and buzz baits. And then I use 50-pound braid for my frogs. And then I will use Silent Flip, which is a different category of Cortland. It's braided line too, but it's specifically designed for like punching, like mats and pads and stuff like that. And I use that, but I don't use that a lot around here. I use that in like St. John's River and stuff like that. So that's my setup.
Do you even know what you have on?
Yeah. I keep mine pretty simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I use a lot of braid, the fluorocarbon leader setup, so I use a lot of braid backing for half my, and then fluorocarbon. So like I've still got probably spider wire braid on some of my reels from like 10 years ago because it's just backing.
Yep.
But I use a lot of fluorocarbon. I actually use most of my stuff is 12-pound test or less. It's even for cranking. I'll crank on 10, 12 pounds, sometimes even 8 pounds. Even when I'm flipping a lot on GAs, a lot of times I have 12-pound on. Now, I do have one specific setup that's more. It's actually a 17-pound fluorocarbon. I think that's in BizX. I forget who makes that.
Seaguar.
Yeah, Seaguar's in BizX, yep.
Seaguar and BizX. So that's what I had that set up on. The other, I use a lot of P11 tactical fluorocarbon. So I buy like 1,000-yard spools of it. Lasts me a couple of years.
It goes on sale pretty regularly too, so you can grab that.
Usually, what I would do is buy the 1,000-yard spools either on like the Black Friday sales or Memorial Day sales when it's on. But yeah, but if I'm flipping really heavy cover and stuff, I usually use that 17 pounds. What I like.
Yeah.
And then my braid, I use a lot of braid for top water. 20, 30-pound braid for my top water. My frogs, I don't probably go up to 50. 65. I stick with 50. But yeah, pretty similar.
Yeah, I'm a little heavy-handed, so I like 65. Like I said, I broke 50 on the hooks at once, and so I don't trust it.
Pete's not wrong. Pete's not wrong about straight braid to like pop bars and walking baits and stuff like that. If you're gonna throw straight braid, I'll either tie a Palomar knot. Mostly it's Palomar knot. Sometimes there'll be a loop knot depending on the type of bait to give it a little bit more action or keep it in the strike zone a little bit longer. I also work pop bars like they're spooks too, which Pete knows that about me. But if you're gonna get those kinds of baits, depending on what it is, I always change the hooks out on them. Because even when I'm boat flip, I still like to boat flip them too, and Pete yells at me when we're fishing tournaments. But you also have to have the right rod that allows you to let those fish eat that bait and dig. So if you're not controlling your drag or you don't have the right rod, you either bend hooks out or you'll lose a lot of fish, especially in the summertime when their lips are super soft and will rip a giant hole in their mouth. So you just got to play with it a little bit. But yeah, Palomar knot, loop knot with braid, not a loop knot with braid, but a Palomar knot with braid, and then like a loop knot with like copoly or fluoro if you use it.
Let's get one thing straight. Trey yells at me for boat flipping fish. Trey boat flips fish into the net because he gets too excited and when he goes to lift them to get them up on the surface so I can scoop them, they come out of the water 90% of the time. But I boat flip like almost everything, and I know especially at Gaston this past year I gave him a heart attack on all 5 fish that I caught on the chatterbait because I got him coming to the boat and he was going to get to the net and I was like, just get out of my way. And they come up over the side into the.
And they're like close to 4 pounds.
Yeah, they're like 4 pound spots. Yeah. If I got them coming to the boat, they're coming in the boat.
Yep. Yeah. We got another question here.
What's the question?
All right. So Jeff said he's a fluorocarbon guy to braid on spinning rods and fluorocarbon on bait casters. Yep. Whatever works for you. That's what most of us do. Rick from Bass and Through asked, what size treble are you most comfortable with on your pop bars and scoops?
Hold on, let me go look at my wall and I'll tell you because I can't remember.
He's gonna go grab his Vector hooks or whatever. So it really just depends on the size of the bait itself, Rick. Some like the KVD splashes, like those are some of my favorite pop bar baits. I don't think the hooks that they come with are good unless you're like fun fishing. But usually I think those are like size 3 hooks if I'm not mistaken. And usually I'll switch those over to like a Mustad or Trokar. I don't really pay attention to the brands of the treble hooks. It's usually like Mustad though, just because they're easy to get. I will say this. When it comes to the like 6 Sense top water baits, they come with really good treble hooks. So I usually don't change those out. But yeah, I think it's a size. I think I have size 1, 2, and 3, and sometimes I will change my back hook and I will upsize my back hook. The biggest thing with those trebles is you want to make sure that you hold if the hooks can touch each other, a lot of times they'll get looped around each other, and so that'll be really frustrating when you're casting them out, especially on braid. No, I'm good, thanks, man. But yeah, and so like if you're finding the fish, you're not hooking up with them, and you're changing the hooks out. Maybe you want to upsize that back hook. Maybe you want to upsize the front hook, depending on how they're eating them. But yeah, I don't really pay attention too much to the trebles.
I don't either, and I can't think of the last time I changed my treble out on a top water crank. Now, part of the reason is I'm not fishing a lot of tournaments for big money. The other reason is like being in the industry, like I know all the hooks are made in all pretty much the same factories, so it's like half one does the other. Now, I mean, there are exceptions to that. There are, right? Some laser, super sharp hooks. That's why they cost a lot more money. And so, yeah, exactly. And so, if you got a lot of money on the line, that makes sense. But, you know, for what I do, it's just like, it's not, I don't take the time to do it. I just chuck that plug out there and see if I can bit.
Yeah, so I run a 3 on the front and a 4 feathered treble, 4 on the back on like my poplars. Sometimes on a walking bait, I'll put a feathered. Usually on my walking baits, I run 4s the whole way. But like Trey said, I like the bigger hook on the back with the poplar because a lot of times if they don't want to eat it, they just grab in that kind of back feathered treble and the bigger hook, you get a better hookup ratio. I feel like, but
I do like a bigger hook.
Yeah, bigger hook on the back for me. I like the way it sits too. It makes it sit a little deeper, so the back end's a little bit deeper in the water. So Trey fishes his quick. He fishes it like a walking bait. But I like to pop mine, pop once, twice, 3 times, and then pause it.
That's
more traditional.
So that's usually,
and that's usually when it gets bit.
Yeah, and I think I told Trey this a while ago, and you were like, yeah. When you throw that popper up against a laydown and stuff, you got to, especially on a calm day, you got to wait till those ripples disappear. It can take 20 seconds. But there have been more times than I can count that it takes 10 or 12 seconds, and then that fish just hits that popper, that splash, or whatever version you're using in that laydown. I used to never walk mine like a walking bait until a couple of years ago to Mike Meekin on my lake schooled me when I was fishing out of the back of his boat by doing that around the lily pads.
He was walking it,
yeah. I mean, I was throwing frogs and and stuff, and he caught 18 pounds and I caught 0 fish.
Yeah,
and we're throwing the same stuff.
Trey's over there pocketing his apple off my table. Yeah, you're welcome, Rick. And I do use one specific brand, so I use Vector's Tornado Treble. I've just been using them for a long time, and I've got a lot of confidence in them, so that's my go-to. I do have a discount code if anyone wants to try them. I don't remember what it is, so you'll have to ask me, and I'll send it to you. But that's been my go-to is a Vector Tornado Treble. I know Nick uses them as well. Mikey might use them too. But
do you guys use any of those the odd shaped ones, like the spear lock ones?
Oh, like the Trapper.
It looks like it's more angled. I've never actually really used any.
I know B-Lat is big on using those. I think for like his drop shot hooks or his Nico rig hooks and stuff like that. Just the single hooks, but I've never tried them.
Yeah, I use. If I'm nose hooking, I just like a number 1 or number 2.
Yeah,
panfish hook basically, and then I've been using a lot now. There's all the companies are making Vector too, which I use as a light wire, straight shank offset worm hook, so you can basically Texas rig it. Nick said Trapper or junk. Yeah, I've never heard anything good about the Trapper brand. Let me see. I have
I'm stuck to my one cast. I can't get it.
Well,
there you
go.
go.
I mean, it worked for Bass and Drew. I forget who somebody else is making. Rick did. Somebody else is making that similar style. Spear Point is one.
Yeah, Spear Point's the one.
But I saw one of the major hook manufacturers has a version now too.
If you look up like Mustad and go in their catalog or something, and Mustad may not, but like there's a lot of hook designs out there that
you can like special order.
Special order have been made before that you're just not going to find in your typical in your tackle stores. Like, there's
I got a question.
tons of varieties of hooks out
A
there.
question.
All right, here's a question for the group. Since everyone is asking those questions, which we appreciate because it really helps out a lot. What do you do to keep your hooks from rusting? Right. So I'll answer my own question. I put rice in my box because I don't spend money on really expensive Plano boxes and stuff.
Why'd you look at me?
By the way, if you want to get really cheap boxes, go to Harbor Freight. And Seth Ellis is the one that told me about this. I still haven't done it because I still have a bunch of old Walmart specials. But I'm not like I want all the expensive boxes. I just don't want to spend all the money. So Plano, if you're listening to this, hook it up, dude. But for me, baby powder in the frog box really helps with keeping those legs nice and fresh and not breaking. And then I put rice. I just put rice in there. Does it create a mess sometimes? Absolutely. But it's an emergency food source. Okay, so
That's true. But you can use rice.
Yeah.
They make the little ones that go in.
You can buy
You're safe. You're gun safe. Right?
You can buy like a 3,000 pack of those silica gel packets for like $3 on Amazon.
Yeah.
And just toss a couple in your box. I do use a Plano Edge, which is waterproof.
Yeah. But
If you
somehow
wanna
I still
do
got
'em-
water in mine.
Oh yeah. If you want to use those, just wait because they run really good sales and you can get them super cheap. I'm with you, Pete. Plano for the win.
Yeah. What was the one I saw down there? It was a shaky head box.
They have shaky in box now?
Yeah, I was
Son of a gun.
down ICAST because I told you
was it Plano?
Plano. I walked. I was like, shaky head box. I was like, when did you guys come out with this? Like 2 years ago. I'm like, why is it now? I'm just now seeing this. Yeah, I mean, you can look it up. It's a box that specifically allows you to put your
Uh-oh.
shaky heads in there.
We had a little video hiccup there for a second, probably because Trey's streaming. Chelsea probably started streaming it.
Here, I'll turn it off.
It's just because we're in the garage, so we're a little bit
Okay.
far from the route. I need to get a mesh system so that we have better service out here.
Ooh,
What are you using? Your Spectrum?
Yeah, Spectrum 1.
Did you have all those outages yesterday?
I kept getting the messages about them, but it never affected us. It was
Yeah,
weird.
dude.
I kept getting the messages too. I don't know if it didn't affect me or we just switched over to phone, but like I said, we should.
Pretty interesting concept from Hal. He said you put little packs that come in the shoes when you buy shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put those little packs in there. He said LA buys lots of shoes. I think that's. I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, you could, and that's what I was saying. You can buy those packs out on Amazon. You can get like 3,000 for like $3. Those little silica gel packets, and they do a great job. You can throw them in all your cabinets and stuff. Pete, what's going on, bud? Glad to see you here. Glad to see you got the skunk off that new cash and rod. That was a cool video. So
Yeah,
glad to have you here with us.
and he drills holes in his jig box. Interesting.
Yeah, I'd use the Plano Edge.
I don't. So here's if you guys are boat owners and I haven't been in every brand of boat, but it almost seems no matter what boat brand you have, water gets in the compartments, right? Some are better than others, or I don't know if there's a boat that doesn't get water in the compartments, but I'll tell you this, like you have to take precautions, and it's not only water getting in your boat, it's the humidity here in North Carolina that creates a lot of condensation in your boxes and stuff like that. So rule of thumb, if you cut a crankbait off, don't throw that immediately into your crankbait box after using it. Let it hang out on your boat and dry out for a
Set
little
that
bit.
thing on the deck. for a
Set that
while.
thing on the deck and then put it away when you're done fishing at the end of the day or whatever. So that will really help you guys save some money for sure.
I'm about to hear a big crack of thunder because I just saw the lightning in the video.
Did you?
Yeah, LA is his wife. Nick said great now to buy another box. Nate said along the line of silica packets, you can actually contact some manufacturers, and they normally just get rid of them, and they are the size of bean bags. Work great in storage boxes. Yeah, that's a great idea. Remind how the packs say do not eat. That was from Bassett. Jeff Warren's on mine, the fan in the tackle box area. Yeah, the vent fans are great. And you don't see as much of the condensation issue in a glass boat, but if you have an aluminum boat, it doesn't matter what brand. the humidity, hot, cold that we get here in North Carolina, you will definitely get some moisture in your boxes. So I use a couple different things that I stick in there, and it doesn't look like we're actually losing video. It's just our feed up there seems to be losing it. So Trey's trying to scratch a hole in his ankle. He's gonna take all the skin off of it.
Yeah.
Probably got bit by a skeeter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the fan systems are great. I sort of wish mine had that. It would make life so much easier. But I just crack my lids usually.
Yeah.
And that takes care of it. Even if you store it outside, if you crack your lids, that'll keep that moisture from building up as the heat and humidity rises and falls. How this is.
Remember, I talked about putting those moisture boxes in my boat compartments and a humidifier at Halmar. Yeah, so for those of you and Hal, you'll have to. I don't want to invite people to your bass fishing museum, but I will tell you this: Hal Abshire, you guys know we had him on the show and did an official podcast with him, and it was a great episode. Go back and listen to that. Hal breaks down how he got started, Warriors on the Water, tournament fishing. A lot about developing partners, developing relationships with partners, sponsors to be exact. But his garage it's like going through it's a blast from the past. So he's got a lot of good tips and tricks and stuff like that, and seems like he's willing to share them with everybody. So Hal, we definitely appreciate you throwing out some OG knowledge on us.
Pete, the house is good, man. Just getting settled in, trying to get unpacked. Even though we took a whole week off to try to do that, it's not enough time. You think it will be, and it is not. But getting settled, I've been focusing on the garage because then I can't put anything in the wrong place in the house, and then I just come in the house whenever muscle and/or power tools are needed. So that's been me. It was. I thought it was gonna be more of a pain to get the boat here the first time, but I backed her straight in. I bought a couple of those like. Jacks, you see them use at car dealers that you put on the tires so they can slide them around the showroom, and I just slid it right into where it needed to be.
Yeah.
Is there really $1,000 on that peg sitting there?
Yes.
What
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
There's more.
Ben is looking at two
I'll
pegs.
show it because
Yeah. So these are all the baits that Pete never uses.
shut up.
It's true.
These are all the baits that he never
And he wouldn't even
throws.
let me try to break him in for.
He's like, I don't want to. He won't even break him in himself because he's too scared to
I
use
do
them.
throw them
He's caught one fish that I've ever
with
seen.
you.
With me.
I've
Yeah.
got more than one fish on my bait.
With me.
They're talking about these pegs.
All right. Pete's about to show you the juice.
So I got two pegs right here. Camera froze. See, they don't want the people to see them.
He's giving up the juice.
There it is. Those are the two pegs.
You look like you're holding up a stringer of trout.
Yes. So that's it. Those two pegs right there.
Yeah. So Pete, you talked about the line and stuff earlier that you use. Do you throw those on heavier line because they're such large baits, or do you still stick with like 17-pound fluorocarbon?
If it's a smaller glide bait, I'll throw on 17, but most of them I'll throw on 20.
Okay, so Pete will throw those on 20-pound gamma fluorocarbon.
Something bigger, like this is a Hog Farmer, Matt McBee, NPFL Angler. These are the baits he makes.
Yeah.
So that's a bigger, heavier bait. I might throw that one on 25. I have not thrown that one because I am scared to lose that one. That was a classic release special bait.
So if you guys are looking to get into the glide bait game, Tater Hog, Matt McBee, he makes some of the best in the business. I want to give Matt McBee a shout out. So he just came across stage. He rooms with Patrick Walters and Trent Palmer and Mike Cobishley, right? They got a powerhouse. Matt McBee runs a 19-foot boat. All right, just like the rest of us. He runs, what is it, Camus CX-19? Doesn't have power poles on it, right? Basically, I just want to give the guy a shout out because he's out there, fishing for fun and representing himself well in a 19-foot boat. And you don't need a $100,000 bass boat, guys, to go out there.
I'm gonna give up one more piece of juice.
All right, Pete's spilling some juice here.
This bait right here.
It's a worm.
It's a worm. It's a straight-tailed worm. It's Missile Baits
Mr. Bates.
Magic Worm,
Magic worm.
the 6-inch.
The 6-inch.
in Blueback Secret.
in Blueback Secret.
It will catch you.
So you can throw that bait in a couple different applications. You can throw that Texas rig, which we do that a lot.
Nico rig.
Nico rig. You can throw it on a drop shot if you have a bigger drop shot hook. If you wanted, you can wacky rig it. That's a great bait, especially to flip around cypress trees.
Shaky head too.
Yeah, and that color, Blueback Secret, is the color shaky head.
Shaky
I throw
head.
it on a shaky head, but specifically that color, I'm going to give you the juice. If you're struggling to catch a fish, put that Blueback Secret down there.
Jeff said, "What garage are you in, and does it have an alarm system?"
Yes and yes.
Yeah, I know the code, Jeff. It'll cost you.
Yeah, I think the alarm system is 556.
Yeah.
He said that's one of the alarms. Yeah, one cast lures catch on the California Delta.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
We need
I
to get a
sent
California Delta
Sent a few to
down.
my brother. We had one.
Who was it?
Luis Fernandez.
Oh yeah, Luis Fernandez, the Bass Warrior.
Yeah. Glad Pete's wearing shorts tonight. When did I not wear shorts?
I don't think Pete owns pants.
Did you ever wear the yoga pants?
No,
Or did you watch out on your bed?
you brought that up.
Why'd you have to bring up that?
No, but did
I do. I owe a tournament in yoga. Maybe not a tournament because now we've got a reputation to keep.
yeah.
Can't be that guy. But I do owe a day of fishing in yoga pants.
Give Mikey and Nick a shout out on this next thing that they're trying to do at Hickman.
Oh yeah, Mike and Nick, everybody. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, thanks, Ben. Nick, thank you. So,
Hey, the audience just want to see it. I'm giving.
so
I'm giving
Mike,
the audience-
there ain't nobody want to see that though. I'm telling you right now.
Well, provide the context to why Ben said that though.
Yeah, so I made a bet, and I don't remember which derby was it. Gaston.
It's Gaston.
That before Gaston, I said if Mike and Nick
Beat us.
I would wear yoga pants for a day of fishing,
And they won.
and they won the tournament. So they clearly beat us.
But hey, I will say this, Nick. Thank you guys for that call. Because we won the points for the year, and had it not been for you, we may not have. So thank you. Maybe that canceled it out.
Did that one cancel out? It
Yeah.
could've. No, maybe I don't think it canceled it out.
Oh.
They're gonna make me do it anyway. Pink yoga pants. No, David Fuchs.
Purple.
No, I want bright yellow.
Anyway, what Ray was asking me to shout
Just
out.
like a banana.
If y'all want to throw some good vibes, some prayers, if you do that, anything towards Mike and Nick, they are fishing the regional championship here in North Carolina for an attempt to go to nationals. Trey and I, as most of you should know if you listen, automatically qualified, winning the points championship. So that's in April, the first weekend of April on Murray in South Carolina. Chelsea's taking social media video right now out the door. What up?
I thought she was going to ring the dinner.
And
triangle.
the dinner triangle. What's going on, Jamie? So yeah, if you pray positive vibes, whatever you do, just throw that out to Mike and Nick. That is what weekend is that?
It's
coming
like
up
the third week of
September. Yeah, on Hickory Lake here in North Carolina. So they got to finish in the top 20%. So however many boats fish, the top 20% qualify
That's
for the
Lake I've
national
never been to.
championship.
It's
So,
out west, isn't it?
yeah, it's out west.
Out
That's Norman.
Is
So
it past Norman?
Jamie Williams in the house. Hope you're doing well, Jamie. I need you to text me your address when you get a minute. Dave, does that say Dave Raleigh? Hey, y'all, what's happening? What's going on, Dave? Hope you're doing well.
Chris Curtis.
Chris Curtis, glad to see you able to jump on. You're welcome, Nick. Yeah, we're hopeful you guys can qualify because we'd love to be able to go down and team up for the national championship.
Yep.
I think Trey and I are going to try to make a trip down there maybe in October.
Yeah, just need to go
do some
area.
area familiarization.
You know, the last time you were there, what happened?
The last time I was there, I went barefoot skiing at 70 mile an hour out of the side of Mike Iaconelli's boat. I do not recommend. Maybe on your feet barefoot skiing wouldn't be too bad, but I did it primarily on my head, and it was not an enjoyable experience. So,
Yeah, but you have that to talk about for the rest of your life.
yeah, I mean that's a story I certainly will take with me.
Yeah.
You just want Mikey to cook.
Yeah, we just
Hey, I mean, if you guys want to come hang out, if you don't qualify and cook for us, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But no, I'm really hopeful you guys get to come down and experience that. I know I'm super excited. Probably need to start looking at Airbnbs and stuff and start making a plan. But I don't know. It's the first time we've ever traveled for anything that big and done something like that. So we
Yeah,
got to figure out the
Lake Murray,
logistics.
right?
Yeah, Lake Murray, 179 of the other best teams out of the United States, wherever fishermen.
Chipping that doing that chicken.
I know.
Wash it
chicken's
out here.
hungry.
No, I'm
Gets
sorry.
hungry,
Yeah, man, we're at that hour mark anyway.
See,
so-
that's like she knew. She didn't need to ring a dinner bell. She just let the scent waft out here and tantalize us. But yeah, if you got any last minute questions, go ahead and ask. What's up, guys?
What's up, Jonathan?
Jonathan, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so we got coming up, like I said, next Saturday, September the 7th, Tap Yard in Raleigh,
Yep.
Warrior Fishing or Warrior Fest, which supports Take Warrior Fishing Inc. And all the events that we try to put on, as well as just single day trips and stuff we do to get veteran active duty out on the water to experience outdoor therapy. So if you're in the Raleigh area, make sure you come check that out. We'll be there next Saturday. I'll be there probably pretty much all day since I work with the organization directly. So I'll go help set up and stuff. Trey and Ben will be there at some point. We're going to do a live from 4 to 5 p.m. next Saturday, the 7th. We'll probably still do Fishing Friday. I don't know. We haven't talked about it, but we'll see. We'll see how the week goes.
We'll have to. So we'll probably, if we do Fishing Friday live next week, which I don't know if we will. Pete's going to be picking me up from the airport on Friday. So,
Oh yeah, we won't have Fishing Friday live next week.
So
'Cause I gotta
I will
get
be
everything
gone
packed up.
next week. I'll be linking up with the Army Outdoor team, Josh Watkins and John Branch, to hang out with them a little bit, do some work up there, not with the Army Outdoor team for another purpose. But yeah, so I'll be gone all next week, so it'll be just you two hustling. Want to do a recap real quick. We shouted out at the beginning of the episode, show support to those who support us the most. OneCast Fishing, onecastfishing.com. Use the code TheOneCast. Go get those Nighthawks, please. Go get those Nighthawks. Also, CarolinaWatersNC.com. Use the code TheOneCast. I showed it earlier. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well right now, but the new camouflage Buck Stopper UPF 50 long sleeve hooded shirt to keep you protected from the sun and mosquitoes. Both seasons right around the corner. Hobie Eyewear. Use the link. Please use the link. You guys are going to save a lot of money on awesome sunglasses, floating frames, lifestyle apparel, all sorts of different ones that they have. And our new partner, Deep Dive, which we're really excited to partner with. Go check out the Deep Dive app. It's on your app store, both Android and Apple phones. You can download the Pro version. You can do a free trial for 7 days, I think, or the Pro version, which is $80 a year. I guarantee you spend way more on other things. So if you're looking to help break down a body of water you've never been to before, just diversify your portfolio, it's a great application to help you do so. And be sure to check that episode that drops next Thursday at noon on all the media platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that goodness, where we have Braden from Deep Dive on. He goes into very specific detail on the application itself. That is all I have.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to the episode that dropped yesterday at noon, we had Kenny Odell with Black Ops Tackle on. They have a really cool thing going as far as the pre-made kits with how to fish the baits, where to use them, time of year specific to help you catch more fish. But more importantly, if you buy those kits, 5% of every sale goes to veterans. So they've been donating to the Fisher House for the last 2 years. If you don't know about the Fisher House, think St. Jude, but for our service members. So they make sure families have a place to stay, take care of all that, so they don't have to worry about it. They can just focus on healing. You're going to get an in-depth story about the Fisher House in an episode here in the not-too-distant future. And I am super excited about that one, but I'm also not looking forward to that one because I know it's going to be an emotional roller coaster. But that's going to be a great episode coming up. Speaking of coming up episodes, we have Deep Dive next week. The week after is going to be another super emotional, tough one. We have a female who fishes on the national U.S. fly fishing team, if you know that was the thing it is. But she's going to tell her story about how she overcame opioid addiction, specifically IV heroin usage, and how fishing saved her life. Now she has a beautiful family. lives out west. I know her personally. I went to high school with her. So I'm really, I'm getting a little choked up just talking about it. I'm really looking forward to sharing her story and just getting it out there how fishing can heal, whether it's battlefield trauma, real life trauma, addiction, whatever it is. Fishing helps. So take somebody out and invite somebody along if you have room, because we just don't know what they're going through. So that's all I got. Looking forward to that one. Make sure you check out those partners. Make sure you check out Deep Dive, our newest one. Super useful tool. Multiple tools you get for that $80 a year. And you or your significant other probably spend more than that a week on coffee. So I'm just kidding. Hopefully not. But appreciate y'all, Ben.
Good to go.
Thanks for jumping on, Eddie.
Yeah. Thanks,
Appreciate
Eddie.
it.
Appreciate you jumping on, bud.
And we appreciate everyone hopping on here, all the questions. We appreciate the support. We love you all, and appreciate you all helping us build a culture of anglers. One cast at a time.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh God, it's a toad, son. It's a toad, dude.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.